Tiffany Carter stood in her spotless kitchen, stirring her morning coffee like she hadn't just come home at 4 a.m. from another night in Ken's bed. The early sunlight poured through the bay window, casting golden light across the marble countertops. Her husband, Matthew, sat at the table, dressed in a clean white shirt and navy tie. He was smiling at her. God, he always smiled at her. "You look beautiful today, babe," he said. She gave him a half smile. "Thanks." He didn't notice the way she pulled her hand back when he tried to touch hers. He didn't question why she hadn't slept beside him in days. He was too busy being in love with the version of her that died 2 years ago. Later that afternoon, Tiffany pulled into a parking garage on the far side of town. She slipped into room 319 at the Hampton Suites where Ken was already waiting, shirtless, smug, and reclining on white hotel sheets. "You really came back," he said with a smirk, wrapping his arms around her waist. "Of course I did," she whispered, breathless. Afterward, they lay in the sheets, the television on mute. Tiffany stared at the ceiling. "I'm tired of pretending," she finally said. "Then stop pretending," Ken replied. "He's in the way." She looked at him. "It's not that simple." Ken turned his head slowly. "You sure about that?" Rain fell hard that night. Matthew had stayed late at work, trying to finish up a presentation. He called Tiffany twice. No answer. At 10:41 p.m., he left a voicemail. "Hey babe, I'm headed home. Drive safe, okay? I love you." He never saw the SUV swerve into his lane. Metal screamed, tires screeched, glass exploded like fireworks. And then, nothing. Matthew's car came to a stop in a ditch, steam hissing from the hood. His body was unconscious, slumped over the wheel, the rain now mixing with the blood trickling from his forehead. Tiffany, meanwhile, lay beside Ken in his bed, scrolling through Instagram. Her phone buzzed, a number she didn't recognize. "Hello, Mrs. Carter, this is Mount Valley Medical. Your husband has been in a serious car accident. He's currently in critical condition. We need you to come right away." There was silence. Then she whispered, "Oh my God." She hung up the phone and let the silence hang in the air for a moment. "Looks like you might get your wish," she told Ken. He leaned forward, kissing her shoulder. "Life works out funny sometimes, doesn't it?" Machines beeped in slow, steady rhythms. Matthew lay in the ICU, eyes shut, tubes connected to every part of him. A ventilator helped him breathe. His skull was cracked, his ribs broken. Tiffany walked into the room wearing a black trench coat. Her heels echoed on the tile floor. She paused beside the bed and let out a quiet sigh. "Damn," she whispered. "You really did it this time." Behind her, Nurse Cynthia observed from the hallway. Young, sharp-eyed, and calm under pressure, she had seen grieving wives before. Something about Tiffany felt scripted. "Mom," Cynthia asked, stepping in. "Are you okay?" Tiffany wiped her eyes quickly. "I'm fine, just overwhelmed. I understand. He's stable for now, but we're watching him closely." Tiffany nodded, brushing past her to leave. Later that evening, Cynthia walked past again and saw Tiffany sitting in the darkened room, alone, staring at the machines. She wasn't crying, she was counting. Back at home, Tiffany pulled out Matthew's files, bills, insurance, pay stubs. She found it, $750,000 life insurance policy, with her listed as the sole beneficiary. She stared at it for a long time. Ken called. "You coming over tonight?" "No, why not? I found the policy." There was a pause. Then, "You're kidding." "I'm not." Ken's voice lowered, like a devil creeping closer. "Then what the hell are we waiting for?" Tiffany whispered, "He's on life support. He can't feel anything." "Exactly. You deserve more than this. Don't let a damn machine hold you back." Meanwhile, at the hospital, Cynthia noticed Tiffany asking specific questions. Which plug is the ventilator? How long could he survive without the machines? She noted them down in her nurse's chart but said nothing, for now. It was 3:08 a.m. The hallway was quiet, lights dimmed. Most nurses were changing shifts or dozing in the break room. Tiffany slipped into room 412 in silence. She wore gloves. She stood beside Matthew's bed, staring at his chest rise and fall with mechanical assistance. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I tried. I really did." Her hand reached out slowly. She gripped the cable connected to the ventilator. Pulled. The beeping flatlined into a long, endless drone. But then, Matthew coughed. His chest trembled. He breathed on his own. An alarm blared. Cynthia appeared in the doorway, eyes locking onto Tiffany still holding the cord. "Tiffany," she said calmly, "step away from the machine." Tiffany froze. He stopped breathing. "I was just trying to help." Cynthia didn't respond. She just pressed a red button on the wall. Hospital security reviewed the footage. Tiffany was seen entering the room at 3:07 a.m. alone. The machine flatlined at 3:09. When questioned, Tiffany claimed Matthew had stopped breathing, that she panicked, but Cynthia's written notes, and her observations, told a different story. Tiffany was asked to stay behind for a few more questions. She tried to leave, but before she could reach the elevator, two uniformed officers approached. "Tiffany Carter, you're under arrest for attempted murder." Her mouth fell open. "What? No. You've got it wrong." But the cuffs clicked, and the cameras captured everything. Matthew opened his eyes a week later. His voice was weak, barely above a whisper. Cynthia sat beside him, holding his hand. "You're safe," she said softly. "You're doing great." He blinked slowly. "Where's Tiffany?" Cynthia paused. "She's gone. Rest now. We'll talk soon." But he didn't need to talk. The last memory he had before the crash was Tiffany's voice, on speakerphone. "You promised this would be done tonight," she had snapped. And a male voice, Ken's, replied, "It will be. Just make sure he's not around much longer." The case blew up. Headlines exploded across social media. Wife unplugs husband's life support for $750,000 payout. He lives. Ken vanished. No trace of him was found. Some say he escaped the country. Tiffany pled not guilty. Her trial was televised, but the jury didn't take long. She was sentenced to 25 years. Months later, Matthew walked, slowly, with a cane, through a quiet park near the hospital. Cynthia sat on the bench waiting, holding two coffees. He sat beside her. "You didn't have to come," he said. "I know," she replied. "But some people are worth saving." He nodded. "Not all angels have wings, huh?" "No," she said with a smile. "Some wear scrubs." And the two of them sat quietly, the past finally behind them, as the sun rose over a brand new morning.